classic Hell in a Cell cages. In the opening promo package, you've got red on you. Clean yourselves up, you dirty buggers. Now imagine taking a sign to a show in Chicago where I assume you don't really have to watch BT Sport to know that BT Sports suck. I was thinking to myself, at least they care, man. Sky Sports way back in the day, they used to treat professional wrestling like the dad who would go away for a bottle of milk and never come home would treat his little boy. Just neglected. Omos's mammy has stitched his name on his trousers so the other little boys don't take his trousers from him in the changing rooms. Grow up, you giant baby.
Made a grave mistake.
Yep, wrong.
To quote both Byron Saxton and Corey Graves last night when Bobby Lashley was doing that to the giant baby Omos. No way, Bobby. I'm not sure about this one, Bobby. It's not as if you've done it twice before at WrestleMania 38 and at WrestleMania Backlash, Bobby. How many times does Bobby Lashley need to pick that giant baby up for you two clowns to actually believe that Bobby Lashley can pick up that giant baby? I tell you, if I saw a pig flying across the sky, I would remember the first time I saw a pig flying across the sky, because it's very weird. No, that's not me comparing Omos to a flying pig, just the concept of a man picking up Omos that's as strange as a flying pig. So upon seeing MVP hoof Bobby Lashley right in his teeth, Corey Graves did quite a wholesome thing by name dropping Masahiro Chono. Now the fact he did that is a WTF moment. I don't care what you say, dear viewer. I mean, you can just imagine Vince McMahon on the headset sat in gorilla position berating Corey Graves for making such a reference.
Masahiro Chono, Corey! Didn't she used to go out with John Lennon? Oh my God! John Lennon's new song, Imagine. It's such a groovy beat.
I don't know why I always look down there when doing Vince McMahon, but I always do. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Leave the memories alone! Fan with Bobby Lashley Hurt Business sign. It's time to move on, man. The Hurt Business aren't going to do a Robbie Williams going back to take that, man. The Hurt Business, they are done. Move on. You can do it. I believe in you. Did Bobby just perform Grand Theft Title? GTT Chicago coming to the PS5 very soon indeed. But just imagine being that poor lad when Bobby Lashley, remember, Bobby Lashley took that title out of his hands. What are you going to do if big Bobby Lashley doesn't want to give it back? Or worse, if Bobby Lashley breaks your WWE Championship that you paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for? What are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. Or you could kiss his bollocks, he might like that. And speaking of kissing, Bobby Lashley had the audacity, the gall, the gumption, all the other things they mentioned on RuPaul's Drag Race, to kiss another man's title belt. He might as well kiss that fella's wife while he's at it, man, and he would get away with it because he's Bobby Lashley, top shagger, big muscles. And now a question for those fans in Chicago who were chanting, "He's Elias," in the direction of Ezekiel. If that's the case, how the buggering hell do you explain that then? And then you look at that picture there that I put on Twitter a little while ago, and you realise Ezekiel, the much younger brother, looks way older than the older brother. I don't know what I'm doing here. Elias. He must have had a harder paper round, or he does hard drugs. Quite frankly, in the words of Chandler Bing, could they be any more brotherly? Nah. But then Ezekiel went and lost a pay-per-view match as clean as a very squeaky clean whistle. Ho, so clean. And I was starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this talk of Ezekiel actually being Elias might have some credence to it, because way back in the day, all Elias would do was strum his guitar, go and do some wrestling, and lose just about every single wrestling match he would ever have. I mean, who wants to walk with Elias? Ezekiel does, because they're the same man, the fraudulent bastard. Gimmick infringement Kane is back from the dead to say, "How Judgment Day, you setter bastards, yeah. You can take your join us catchphrase and you can stick it up your PVC leather coat because Cultaholic was there first, yeah, Doylums." And don't people like Rhea Ripley just make you sick? Look at that tweet there and answer me this question. How can Rhea Ripley rock up to the show last night, have no low gear, rustle something up at the last moment, and go out there looking like that. That bitch be slaying, and that bitch don't even be trying. I tell you, I could be on RuPaul's Drag Race if I wanted to. So just imagine, right, Rhea Ripley from last night's pay-per-view, she's on RuPaul's Drag Race, she's walked down the catway, she's walked back. When they go backstage, they always do a little joke, don't they? I could say, because Rhea Ripley, she does the riptide as a finishing maneuver, just like that. Did you hear the news about riptides? Apparently, it's a current event. You see, RuPaul, I can do crap puns too.
Smackdown Pat.
Where in the pissing hell are you at, Pat? That didn't quite rhyme, but I'll take it. So, of course, Pat was sat there on Friday's SmackDown saying, congratulations, Maggle Cole, you've been in WWE for 25 years. In those 25 years, you've only missed 2 shows, yet last night at Hell in a Cell, Pat was just off. Let me tell you, Pat, that's not good enough, you pussy! Oh, NFT, more like WTF, you're buying them for, you twats, I tell you. I still don't understand what they are, but they do not sound good. Direct-ish quote from Corey Graves this time when he says, I just don't think it's fair that Ali gets his title opportunity in his hometown, as if he's never watched professional wrestling before. Now, some might be saying that Corey Graves is just being a facetious professional wrestling heel commentator, but I like to think, in moments like that, Corey Graves is living his life blissfully unaware that Vince McMahon doesn't allow his superstars to have a nice time in their hometown because of valid reasons. Valid reasons such as this. There's nothing there. Because there's no valid reasons. It makes no sense, Vince. And then the man himself, he got his tit out. And I just don't know what it was, but the neck tattoo last night was not standing out as notably as it normally is. I just don't know what it was. But this entire situation of the right tit, it's absolutely mental, however you look at the situation. I mean, my first thought about that last night was going back to Triple H, when that same tit, but on Triple H's body, that fell off Triple H's body. And you're thinking back how Triple H could not continue in that match the same way he did before the tit fell off, and you're thinking, why have WWE got Cody Rhodes out there about to participate in Hell in a Cell when his tit is looking like that? In that initial moment when you first see that droopy, swollen nipple, you're thinking, bloody hell, this is not a good look for the WWE. It's like it's 1999 and they don't care about health. Then after watching the match, you go onto Reddit, you see a doctor. I didn't write his name down, I'm very sorry indeed, I'm an ignorant arsehole. And you see this doctor speaking words saying that Cody Rhodes basically ripped that muscle off the bone, and that's it. It's off the bone. Whether he was in the match or out the match, he still needed surgery, and no matter what he did last night, he couldn't injure that tit anymore. The muscle was off the bone. It's absolutely mental. It's off the bone, so presumably the doctors backstage for WWE were saying, hey Cody, it's up to you. You're injured either way. Do you want to wrestle or do you not want to wrestle? And he said yes, and I guess fair play. Respectpa to you, Cody Rhodes. But then you hear those same doctors saying that while Cody Rhodes' tit could not be any more injured if it tried, just like Chandler Bing might say. They're also saying that the areas around the tit, the shoulder, that bit, this, that bit, all those bits there, they could get more injured because of overcompensation for doing things without the big tit muscle. I'm a doctor. Hello, everybody. And you're hearing that part of the situation, and you're thinking, why, Cody, why? Cody, you did not need to be out there last night. I don't think anybody alive today would have been annoyed at Cody Rhodes if Cody said, you know what, this is really sore. I don't want to take part in the most devastating stipulation in the World Wrestling Entertainment today. As I tweeted last night, man, if I was Cody Rhodes, I would have gone home and I would have had a good sit down. Look at the state of my tit, I would say, and I'd go and sit down and have a nice cup of water. It would have been fantastic, but then all the fans would think I was a fanny. That pronunciation there is just reminding me that Cody Rhodes is going to be out of the Cardiff show. That's a massive shame. Oh. But then the perverted, silly part of somebody's brain watching this video, I know there's at least one person who thought this, who thought, is there a chance that Cody Rhodes removed his pectoral muscle from the titty bone on purpose because the entire scenario, it's too perfect for it not to be calculated. He was already a massive babyface heading into Hell in a Cell 2022. Coming out of Hell in a Cell 2022, he's as big a babyface as he's ever going to be, ever. Despite half his chest falling off, he's wrestled a match and he's beaten Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, who, by the way, if you want one professional wrestler to do the wrestling with the use of one arm alone, it's Seth Rollins, isn't it? It's all fitting together, isn't it? And then you look at the time frame for a return from this sort of injury. 6 to 9 months, that doctor was saying. What happens in 6 to 9 months? That's just before Royal Rumble season. Could you imagine if Cody Rhodes makes his triumphant return, just like John Cena in the Royal Rumble of 2023, wins the match, goes on to WrestleMania, beats the Tribal Chief? My God! Oh my God, yeah! A lot of people might say it's all just a little bit too perfect, isn't it? The sick person watching this video who believes that to be true. I don't, but I know one person watching this video does. But when all's said and done, the biggest WTF moment of all of this is just sitting back watching that match last night, a classic Hell in a Cell match, and thinking to yourself, how the bloody hell have Cody and Seth Rollins done that one? To put it bluntly, he's put on an all-time classic with his tit hanging off. How? Adrenaline in me tit. I'm really sore now, toodle pip. Bye, Cody. Get in the bin, Seth, you dirty slut. I tell you what, I don't know if it was just me, but those early stages especially in that matchup last night were so uncomfortable to watch. So uncomfortable, I was thinking, what the hell? Can't say the word, can I? And then we get to the moment where Chicago really let themselves down, okay? Because we get to the moment where Seth Rollins was whipping an injured Cody Rhodes with a massive big chunky belt, and the crowd are going, whoa, whoa. They're singing along to Rollins' theme as if he's some sort of Pied Piper whipping a rat in the middle of the ring. Then they're cheering him on, getting tables out. Yes, that could be just because there was a table for the first time in the main event of the night, and as we all know, professional wrestling fans, we all love tables, don't we? All shapes and sizes. And then we hear chants of thank you, Rollins, and this is a WTF moment because there are bigger issues at play. The whipping, the table, the tit. There's basically a crime being played out in front of your eyes, Chicago, and you're chatting along with the guy who's committing the crime. You should be ashamed. And next up, we've got to make a WTF moment out of the satisfying noise that cowbell made off the head of Seth Rollins. I mean, if anything, I would say it needs more cowbell. One tit hanging off, buckle bomb, table. Once again, I don't know what you say other than mad respect to you, Cody Rhodes. And then if the ripping of the tit wasn't a big enough tribute to Triple H, Cody Rhodes went and did it, even though he appeared to hate Triple H's guts and his massive throne. While in AEW, Cody's come back to WWE, he claims that Triple H is his favourite wrestler, and last night he hit the pedigree. Cody Rhodes, A-class worker, brother. And that's all happened before, of course, this massive, masturbatory Triple H match ended with Cody Rhodes. Yes, Bret Hart, by the way. Triple H can have a masturbatory match in his honour too. What am I doing here? I don't know. It's a big winky though, isn't it? Hey. But it ended with Cody grabbing Triple H's disco stick, the sledgehammer, and twatting Rollins upside the head. I guess that's another WTF moment when you unpack the result of that match last night. Cody won that series 3-0. That's another WTF moment. This is Seth Rollins we're speaking about, remember? Seth Rollins, yes, of course, he's a made man in WWE, but he's lost that 3-0, 3 in a row, and the third one was done with Cody not being able to use one arm and one tit hanging off. But of course, massive props must be paid to Seth Rollins, who played a massive part in putting that match together. If you want to work with anybody, as I said earlier, with one arm not working, Seth Rollins is near, if not at the top of the list of people to work with. And obviously now we've got to wish Cody Rhodes a very, very healthy and speedy and whatever, just a very good recovery. Let's hope he hasn't done damage to those surrounding areas like that doctor said on Reddit. I've made him sound like a right whopper there. That fully qualified, verified doctor, yes. But let's see if WWE are brave enough to leave him off TV all the way through until the Royal Rumble. Maybe tonight we'll get a goodbye, see you later promo on Raw, and then we'll see you later. Royal Rumble, win the match, go to Mania, topple Roman. Oh my God, it writes itself. But once again, WWE put a pay-per-view on, the build to it, a bit underwhelming. The pay-per-view itself, it over-delivered. Under-promise, over-delivered. It's a nice way to be. Hey, there's a succession of that now. Long may it continue. If you're feeling fruity, like the video. If you're feeling saucy, share the video as well. Leave a comment, positive or negative. I don't care. If you can't think of what to write, just say Cody Rhodes is a lovely, wholesome boy. Dare you. I've been Ross from Cultaholic Wrestling. If you thought my delivery was a bit off today, I've been up for like 27 hours now. I'm absolutely cream crackered. So I'll see you next time.